Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Morning on Monday, September 23rd, 2024. New week, new crypto adventure as always. Last week's Fed meeting brought the pivot point in a huge 0.5 point drop. It's a significant decrease. Some call it the decade's big event. We'll see, but so far it's paying off. Interestingly, Bitcoin and altcoins, even smaller ones, are finally starting to outperform Bitcoin. Last week's lingering question, we have a big drop, but are we in a recession? We need indicators. This week's macro stat might just blow up the markets if it goes well. And at the macro level, I think things will calm down in the coming weeks. The next Fed meeting isn't for another 6 weeks, so we'll have time to focus on more crypto events. And as you know, the US elections this week. Don't forget options close on Friday, which will give us an indication. Are there volumes? I'd say it's less than usual, oddly enough. 5.68, 3.51 billion up in calls and less on the downside. Max pain is around 58, well below today's 63. Could max pain be completely off? It's possible, but it suggests a downtrend and bearish pressure this week based on options alone. For unlocks, it's mainly Venom, as fetch is just 0.1, which is negligible. Venom, 13% of capital, one of the biggest airdrop flops. It's interesting because they list Taro, Taro has daily progressive mining. It's not like WorldCoin or Solana with proof of stake, so it's totally different. But it's interesting to see Taro now in the list of major unlock projects. Then Kamala Harris, who won, seems to win 4 of 6 states, off from 1 of 6, the US swing states. 4 out of 6 is pretty positive. We'll follow each case. Again, it's a chance to ask, comment Polymarket if you want a special report. I'm researching. It's really great because I've been saying for a while that for voting and even democracies, decentralization and blockchain could be a game-changing solution. It's indisputable, and that's what Polymarket is. They use blockchain technology. It's interesting because they bet on everything. It'd be fascinating to see a government use Polymarket, say, for organizing votes. That could be really intriguing. Kamala Harris is taking a slight lead in 1 of 6 states. We'll obviously follow this for a week or a month. That's why I say it's win-win for us regarding the US elections. Even Kamala Harris, or rather her vice president, is saying it, explaining she wants to encourage crypto business, being crypto-friendly, while also protecting consumers from Wall Street. Because Wall Street's here now, the wolves are in the fold, as they say, with BlackRock and company. So it's actually a favorable stance when you think about it. This is really great news, which leaves me very optimistic. He's talking about a target of 85,000. We can see a breakout, which is positive. Taking the base and doubling it gives a potential target of 85,000. The RSI breakout is very, very positive in my opinion. They predicted 100K by September, which is typically a red month statistically, but stats are meant to be broken. The month isn't over yet, with over a week left. If we end in the green, it's rare. It's happened 3 times for Bitcoin, each followed by massive gains, so we'll discuss this again at the end of the month. If we end in green, logic suggests 3 more green months ahead. And the worst part is, I think even with 1 red month, we should see 3 green months, because looking at bull market years, 2020 pre-bull market was green. Same for 2016. With this indicator, heads we win, tails we win, but green's better for an extra month. It's a great stat, and we see everyone spotting the head and shoulders, but mainly a big recharge zone to go higher. Interestingly, Altcoins are, for the first time, showing 20 to 30% gains, even the small ones. It's getting exciting. Why? The rate cut was very significant, highly favorable for risk assets. Cryptocurrencies, being the riskiest assets, benefit more than Nasdaq or Dow Jones. In crypto, Altcoins gain more from this rate drop than Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's normal as they're riskier. Lower rates may boost even small projects. Is the bull market imminent? Analyses predict 15-20 days, which aligns with my thoughts. I think we'll break the ATH in 3 weeks max. Then it's familiar territory. The famous 2016 post-halving lasted 168 days, the previous one 161 days, and another 1653 days. That's it. Many indicators suggest we'll enter the second phase of this bull market in the next 3 weeks. We'll discuss the third phase later, not now. Dogecoin's doing pretty well. We've seen ghost coins like VeChain, but Dogecoin just took off. Double fakeout is cool. RSI and price breakouts for Dogecoin look great, signaling good things ahead, especially noteworthy since it's been stagnant for so long. I didn't plan to discuss TAO, but current news makes it relevant. Barry Silbert, DCG co-founder managing Grayscale, is like many of us. But for me, it was years ago. I started studying TAO and fell in love with the project, much like with Bitcoin. Obviously, there are similarities. He explains that for him, TAO is like Bitcoin was in 2013 and all that. He says if Coinbase listed TAO, it would be explosive, bringing even more visibility and volume to TAO. We hope so, but having Binance already is huge. But yeah, not much news on TAO in general. Last 24 hours aren't great. We see Pendle performing really well with It's Crazy Now, like when TAO exploded. There was 100% capital gain. We're close to that again. I won't say I told you so when it was under 3, but we did discuss it. I took a small position anyway. In terms of volume, Bitcoin and Ethereum are nearly stagnant at 16 and 12 billion. We'll let the whales and serious investors enter quietly. For now, we're not seeing significant trading volumes. With Bitcoin, we know and hope that if we keep hesitating like this, based on various stats, we'll likely see a downturn. Hesitation often leads to a drop. Could this form a bull flag? It's possible, but we've already seen several uncertain candles. 3 green, 1 red. Over 4 or 5 days, honestly, it needs to make a move. It could form a nice bull flag, which would make sense. We break the 200 MA, finish this stubborn 64, 65 level, and I guarantee there'll be no half measures. We'll tackle the resistance and then the all-time high right after. The toughest part is this short-term level. I really hope this week ends on a high note, setting us up for a strong October, November, December. Maybe the start of a bull run. TAO is becoming absolutely ridiculous. At the lows, 160, 135 times 3. I think it dropped with small candles, so it's creating tiny pockets of resistance. But for me, there's nothing until the head and shoulders. Pendle, as we've seen, looks magnificent. It's behaving like Bitcoin. It's hovering around the 200-day moving average. We're seeing huge volumes, unseen for a long time. Pendle's looking hot right now. Then there's KDA, which I love. Small rise flying under the radar. Nice green candle, small flag pattern. Next target 0.80. At 0.80 and 200 MA, it'd mirror Bitcoin's position. We saw similar action on Pendle. IMX is showing the kind of growth I love. It's been consistently green candles. Some tiny but green for about 10 days straight. To me, that's very bullish. Lastly, BNB, you'll never guess. I've set it to weekly to show 88s around 700. Correction, it actually hit 718 here. BNB might reach a new ATH before Bitcoin. It'd be cool to see that kind of boldness. That would be pretty exciting. Lastly, Claude, we discussed this yesterday. It might be the big recovery, given its losses. I remind you, this might be the biggest drop yet. Before bouncing back, it lost 91%. So if you put in 100 euro, it's now worth 9 euro. But at 9 euro, the prospects are just insane. We're looking at a potential 10x return. Lastly, I want to talk about Render. Today's opportunity. I like ending the morning with this, especially on Mondays. I think TAO and Fetch have recovered well. Render, in my opinion, hasn't bounced back at all. It's about where it was this time last year. Look, in December we were at around 5. We can say it's almost a gift now. It bottomed out here, dropping to about 3. I think around 4.5-5, Render won't go much lower. The risk-reward ratio is becoming fantastic now. Even in a crash, it might lose 20 to 25% like others. On the upside, easy 10x gains are possible. That's all from me. Have a great Monday and week ahead. See you soon, everyone. Ciao.